Joining me now, radio talk show host, Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. Tammy, good to have you with us.
Hi
National Affairs Columnist at National Review, John Fund. John, good to have you with us. Tammy, this is laid bare for all the world now to see, but particularly Americans, that our judiciary system is as politicized as any other part of this government.
Yes, and what you've done earlier with the numbers of how many judges, how they've been appointed, these are things that no one really knows. We know there's no more civics, really, in high school, right? This has been, and it's already been a civics lesson. It has the potential of being an even better one with information like with what you've provided this evening. But what it also shows is that really, even as Judge Gorsuch noted in his acceptance remarks for the nomination, is that judges are lawyers in robes. Yeah. And they come with this kind of bias. And clearly something has to be done. It has to be changed.
And Judge Gorsuch making that crack, which was just as insulting to a man to whom he owes a great deal as it could be, to say it's disheartening to see criticism of the high court. I mean, that is an elitist, extraordinary view to hold, and a terrible miscalculation by a man who is obviously smarter than that.
I grant you that all of what you just said is true. It doesn't.
Well, then we have nothing further to discuss.
Oh no, but it doesn't change what
he surrenders.
Doesn't change the mistakes the administration made. If you wave a red cape in front of a mad judge, you're going to get the kind of result you saw last night, where a George
you don't think? Oh, come on, John. You don't think that there would have been a dime's worth of difference in what that court did, irrespective of what the president said?
Lawyers are surprised it was 3-0. Lawyers were surprised that the George W. Bush appointee joined in. I think the fact that the opinion, as badly as it was written, was so against the administration was because the administration has been attacking judges.
I think that the reason they're looking for an en-banc hearing now is because at least one judge on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals knows they made a farce of themselves. They absolutely a mockery.
I've looked at the numbers. They have an en-banc hearing. They're going to lose that too. Trump should regroup, rewrite the executive order, and reissue it.
Trying for that circuit to recover some semblance.
The way to do that is to break up the Ninth Circuit, which is there's a move in Congress
All you'll
to do
have
it.
is two of the same.
No, you'll have one.
It's like snakes, John. That's the way it works.
Excuse me, Idaho and Arizona. I think they're going to be a conservative circuit.
I don't know why people would be surprised.
They're
at the
not
Bush.
appointed out of.
Yes, they are appointed out of those states. Each state appoints its own judges in that appeals court.
Let me be clear. They do not depend on the state for who puts them into the court.
There are a certain number of seats for each state.
They have to be referred by their senators, but that's...
But let's remember, though, too, with George W. Bush, it was his appointee in Washington that started this.
It wasn't really his appointee. That was a liberal judge. That was a trade-off, a power deal by the liberal senator.
Here's what we know.
It was not his appointee.
Tammy's right. It does go down as his appointee.
It's been manipulated into that.
But the fact of the matter is that we now have a man in the presidency who we have to make sure appoints genuinely conservative individuals.
Say we shouldn't take this too seriously.
But also, there's so many open seats. Trump has got to make sure that that's one of his priorities, of filling those seats, because we know now the importance
fact of the matter is we have
people.
a circuit court in this country, and liberals control 70% of those circuits. Democrats control them and influence the left, I think, controls them, is another way to put it better. And we have a huge problem here. The left is antagonistic toward its own country, toward its own values, its traditions, and its history, and its people. This is a major, major problem.
And this is another irony, that the argument that you can't critique the judiciary is coming from the same people who are critiquing the President of the United States in obscene ways 24/7. But even the commentators, everyone else, is somehow the judiciary is this untouchable thing. They can be critiqued. They should be within the bounds of our being able to have a conversation.
For it, John.
Another way to do this is I think the president should raise term limits for justices. I think it is ridiculous to have lifetime appointments in this age. You can take care of the lifetime issue by they serve 12 years in the Supreme Court, then they go down to an appeals court. They still get their salary. They still get their benefits. We need term limits for judges just like we need them for Congress, and we have them for the president.
Idea.